welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into the absolutely incredible science of how stories literally change the wiring of your brain. We're going to unpack why reading is so much more than just a hobby. It's a full-on cognitive event.
You know that feeling, right? You pick up one book and it's a total roller coaster ride, fast, thrilling, you can't put it down. Then you read another and it feels more like a deep, complex puzzle you have to slowly piece together. Have you ever wondered why that is? Well, the answer isn't just about your personal taste. It actually comes down to neurobiology.
So, to really get to the bottom of that difference, we first have to look at what's going on inside your head when you read any story. Turns out, your brain is doing something way more amazing than you probably think.
I love this analogy. Neuroscientists talk about reading fiction as stepping into a high-tech simulation. Think of it like a flight simulator, but for your social life. It's this incredible, safe space where your brain gets to practice dealing with tricky social situations and figuring other people out, all without any real-world consequences.
Now, there's a formal name for this, the narrative simulation hypothesis. And the core idea is pretty simple. When we read, we're not just, decoding words on a page. Our brains are actively building this rich, dynamic model of the story's world. We're filling in the gaps with our own experiences and knowledge.
And get this, the simulation is so real, it's kind of wild. fMRI scans show that when you read a sentence like, "He kicked the ball," the part of your motor cortex that controls your leg actually lights up. It's the same region that would fire if you were really kicking a ball. So on a neural level, your brain doesn't just see the story, it lives the story.
Okay, so this whole simulation thing is especially good for building up a super important social skill. It's called theory of mind. And that's basically our ability to get that other people have their own minds, right? Their own beliefs, their own wants, their own perspectives that are totally different from ours.
And that's the whole point of that mental flight simulator we were talking about. Fiction forces us to get inside a character's head and ask, why do they do that? What are they thinking? When we do that, we're giving the parts of our brain responsible for real-world empathy a really good workout.
So if all fiction is a simulation, why the huge difference in experience from book to book? Well, it's because stories can be engineered in totally different ways to engage our brains. And this brings us to a really useful distinction that researchers make between two kinds of fiction.
Now, for scientists, this isn't about which one's better. It's a functional distinction. Literary fiction is the stuff that really zeroes in on complex characters, their psychology, their motivations. It asks you to do some interpretive work, to reflect. On the other hand, you have commercial fiction, which is all about the plot. It's built for speed, for pure, unadulterated entertainment.
Of course, it's super important to remember this isn't some rigid black and white rule. It's a spectrum. I mean, think about it. Authors like Dickens or Jane Austen, who we now consider these literary giants, were the blockbuster bestsellers of their time. The real difference is about the kind of mental work the story is asking you to do.
All right, now we can finally put all the pieces together. We can connect the idea of the brain as a simulator with this literary commercial spectrum. And when we do that, we can solve our initial mystery and see exactly why different books feel like totally different kinds of mental workouts.
So here's how it breaks down. Literary fiction often creates what you could call cognitive disruption. It's complex, it's ambiguous, and it forces your brain into what psychologists call System 2 thinking. That's the slow, deliberate, analytical mode. Commercial fiction, though, does the opposite. It reinforces the mental shortcuts and patterns, the schemas we already have. This lets you use System 1 thinking, which is fast, intuitive, and makes for that smooth, immersive ride.
And this isn't just a theory. There's research to back it up. A famous study by Kidd and Castano found something pretty remarkable. People who had just read a piece of literary fiction showed a small but statistically significant boost in their theory of mind scores right afterward. That cognitive disruption workout actually made them better at reading other people's emotions, at least for a little while. And interestingly, they didn't see that same effect with commercial fiction.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What do we do with all this information? How can this make us more, intentional about what we read?
The most important thing to remember is that one type is not inherently better than the other. Not at all. They are just different tools that are designed for different jobs. They train different mental muscles, and both are valuable.
A great way to think of it is like you're curating a balanced cognitive diet. You read commercial fiction when you want that awesome, immersive fun, and it's great for reinforcing the cultural scripts we all share. And then you read literary fiction when you want some targeted resistance training for your empathy muscles, helping you navigate those complex social situations where the old scripts just don't work.
So this completely reframes how you can choose your next book, right? It's not just about picking a genre or an author you like. It becomes an empowered choice. You can literally ask yourself, what kind of workout do I want to give my brain today? Do I want to train for speed and immersion, or am I looking to train for depth and perspective? The choice is yours.